Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, police are searching for 2 people who they believe are involved in the death of a 34-year-old man in Georgetown. One person is in custody assisting officers as they continue to piece together what led to the man's death.
A quiet Georgetown street turned into a crime scene. Forensic officers investigating after a 34-year-old man from Mount Direction died from multiple stab wounds last night.
Around 8:30 p.m, police were called to a disturbance at Lambert Street, allegedly between 4 people who were known to each other. On arrival at the scene, emergency services found the injured man on the pathway.
Medical assistance was provided to him, but police say he died at the scene. One man is in custody assisting officers with their inquiries. They're also searching for 2 other men who were allegedly involved.
Understandably, this incident will be concerning for the community and the residents in the area. I can assure everyone police will be conducting a thorough investigation.
Police say they're still searching for a knife used in the altercation. However, officers say it's too early to determine what led to the night's events.
Police are following a specific line of inquiry in relation to those males, and for operational reasons I can't provide you any further details.
Authorities say a number of resources, including forensic and criminal investigators, have been deployed to the case to ensure a peaceful and safe resolution. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A Moona teenager has been identified as the person believed to be responsible for yesterday's Bowen Road primary school fire. Several classrooms will be demolished over the coming days, with families contacted about alternative schooling arrangements.
These recently renovated and colourful classrooms now a blackened skeleton of what was after fire ripped through Bowen Road Primary School only 1 week after students returned from holidays.
This could have been a lot worse had it have happened during a weekday when the children or staff were at school. Clarence,
Glenorchy and Hobart fire crews responding to a direct brigade alarm just after 4 p.m. yesterday.
Flames were billowing out down the bottom sort of thing, and the fire brigade was there running the hoses out and trying to get the water to the area.
Experts working quickly to contain the blaze and keep it from spreading to nearby buildings. Despite the tireless efforts of emergency services, several classrooms were destroyed, with parts of the school now to be demolished.
This fire has done extensive damage to what's referred to as the C block of the school. That involves approximately 3 classrooms and a library, so it's very upsetting for the school community.
I'm very worried. That school is like my kid.
The fire has been determined as deliberately lit, with a 14-year-old Moona resident to be dealt with under the Youth Justice Act. Fire investigators are still working to determine what started the blaze that's caused an estimated $800,000 worth of damage. The school is set to be closed over the next 3 days. Families contacted by the Education Department about alternative arrangements. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Voluntary assisted dying is now available in Tasmania under the 2021 End of Life Choices Act. Adults suffering a terminal medical condition will have legal access to prescription medication when they choose to die.
Today marks a day where Tasmanians will have greater autonomy and choice, and most importantly dignity at the end of their life.
The Department of Health says voluntary dying is not an emergency service, with eligible patients having to undergo a strict 6-stage process. The federal government says its investment in Hobart's zinc smelter will protect jobs and boost Australia's manufacturing industry. Science Minister Ed Husic toured Nyrstar this morning with its $50 million election commitment to be included in Tuesday's budget. The company says the $400 million new electrolysis plant is needed to remain globally competitive.
Because this will improve not only our operational efficiency, allowing us to be far more competitive in the world market, but also improve our energy efficiency, improving our energy efficiency by at least 10%.
It's designed to improve that efficiency, reduce waste, become more energy efficient, very important, and so this investment critical.
Up to 200 people will work on the project. Back home, and a shipload of flag-waving, bagpipe-playing passengers have been welcomed into Geelong with open arms as the Spirit of Tasmania begins a new era. Tom Johnson is on board and joins us live from Deck 7. Good evening, Tom. More history tonight when the Spirit leaves Geelong for the first time.
Yeah, sure is, Louise. We'll be heading off very shortly for this historic first trip out of Geelong to Devonport after what's been a big day of celebration here today. It was something of a carnival atmosphere sailing into Geelong this morning. Lots of locals got up early to make the trip out and welcome the ship to the shore. And as far as the passengers go, they really filled the decks, flags in hand, of course, to wave to those ashore. Waking up to a new era. A spirited welcome to Geelong for the first to see the future at sea.
When we found the date, was booked straight away. Lived in Geelong originally before moving to Alberton, and it was a great trip.
And now we're here to wave the flag.
Although not everyone knew about the change.
It's a bit exciting. We didn't expect this, but when we booked, but we're here now.
So you didn't know it was going to be the first sailing?
No.
Passengers became Corio Quay celebrities, the first to witness Geelong's new $135 million terminal built especially for its Tassie tenant.
I won this shirt years ago and I'm like, it's coming out tonight, and I booked it as soon as it came on board.
Ferry fan Mitchell Bruce watched the last departure at Station Pier last night before making the trip down to Geelong this morning.
Just an enthusiast, since a kid, grew up in Tasmania and coming across.
We love sharing the love, and I know Geelong will fall into love with the Spirits as well.
And hearts are set on the new port's success. The Spirits are locked into a 30-year deal.
We'd run out of space at Station Pier. We'd run out of ideas at Station Pier.
The next big ticket item, new Spirits. Bigger, faster vessels are set to replace the current fleet in 2024, bringing even more people through Geelong.
I think by 2030 the expected benefit was about $57 million just to this region.
While bookings are hitting record levels.
They are way up on 2019 pre-COVID.
As the Spirits sail away from their past and latch on to its Geelong gateway, we'll see if jumping ship succeeds. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News.
Australia's premier 10-kilometre road race has kicked off for another year, with thousands taking on the Burnie 10, attempting to break personal bests. For Melbourne runner Jack Rayner, it was a great race on the road, smashing records, while Launceston's James Hansen finished as Tasmania's fastest.
Pumped up kicks for the 38th edition of the Burnie 10.
And the hooter shoots them off and down the roads of Wilson Street.
Electric, so amazing. Everybody here cheering for people coming up the hill. The streets are alive here in Burnie.
The vibe from everyone here, I just ran a PB, so how could I not enjoy it?
Thousands lining the streets showing their support, with nearly 2,000 competitors taking on the course, consisting of all ages and abilities.
We've had tiny babies under the age of 1 in prams. We've had people as part of the Tasmanian Masters Games.
As well as a special celebrity appearance.
Oh, very nice. Let me go to more, Hans. Crossing the line in the man, Katie. That could be a world record.
The support is great out there. What do I say? There are not many runners in Kazakhstan. It was great. High five.
But it was Jack Rayner who ran the show.
27.54, ladies and gentlemen, is the Australian record, and he's just dominated it. Wow. That is an Australian record. You've seen it here.
An impeccable performance by Jack, shaving 11 seconds off the previous record with a time of 27.43.
How's the sun jam? It's a good feeling.
Not only did he break the course record, he ran the fastest time ever on Australian soil, and he ran an Australian record as well.
While Leanne Pompiani placed first in the women's.
I got a few second places recently, so getting first place definitely feels good.
But for others, the 10K took a toll.
What was the hardest part?
Running.
Although everyone walked away winners, celebrating their success with friends and family at the finish line. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmanian News.
The Tasmanian Masters Games has wrapped up on the northwest coast with pickleball, one of 23 sports played across 6 municipalities.
It's a round robin sort of arrangement, so they play a game up to 15 points for each round robin. It's up to 15 points, and then the finals are three games if necessary, best of three, up to 11 points.
This particular tournament was at a level where all players seemed very equal, and the fact that every single game was actually really exciting to watch.
62 competitors with various skill levels descended on the Burnie Sports Centre for 2 days of competition. The State Natural Resources Department says it's considering its options after a whale was found dead on Tasmania's northeast coast. Pictures provided to 7 Tasmanian News show the deceased animal washed up on a beach at Bennelong Bay. The department says the adult female pygmy was already dead when reported, with the incident being treated as a natural event. A pumped-up Scott Roth has praised the Jack Jumpers' turnaround after they demolished the Perth Wildcats last night. Tasmania thumped the NBL's most successful team by a record margin in front of an electric MyState Bank Arena crowd, cracking 100 points for the first time in franchise history.
The feeling of winning 4 in a row encapsulated in one moment. Scott Roth showing his delight post-game as the Jack Jumpers continue to build momentum.
My passion is really towards the fans. At the end of the day, there's no disrespect to Perth or anything else other than to thank them for being in that building.
He and all 4,000 at MyState Bank Arena enjoyed what they saw. However, it was tight early on.
Manic steps out beyond the three-point line and knocks down another. They're a perfect 3 of 3.
Perth led at quarter time, but that was as good as it got. The Wildcats reduced to House Cats in the second quarter.
Doyle, top Wagstaff, fires the deep ball, and it's all the bottom of the net.
A 34-point-to-17 turn, putting Tasmania in the box seat. Also showing off a few party tricks.
Coach of the year, Scott Roth. Got this team humming, and the Elliott play off the inbound pass for Doyle.
He's always said he's got it in him, and I think he kind of showed everyone he's got that capability as well.
Their lead kept growing in the second half. The Jackies lethal at the three-point line, shooting at 48%. They also dominated in the air with 41 rebounds to 31, while the defence was rock solid.
It was just good effort across the board from our guys at just staying consistent of what we've been trying to do the last 3 weeks.
A full-quarter effort propelling them to their biggest win in their short history. Tasmania's team putting the competition on notice.
The left-hand hook shot, and it works as well.
And to top the night off, Jack McVeigh confirmed he's signed for 2 more years. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Nathaniel Atkinson's World Cup hopes have been boosted after being cleared of a serious ankle injury. He was injured in Hearts' 5-1 loss to Fiorentina in the Conference League last week. It was feared the 23-year-old Launceston-born player would miss the tournament, but he's now expected to be fit. His return would also be welcome news for the Jam Tarts. The injury-depleted side twice drew level, and at one stage it led against reigning league champions Celtic. However, they ended up losing 4-3.
Good evening, everyone. 15 degrees in Devonport today, and Hobart, Launceston and Burnie all 14. Across the state, Flinders Island on the top of 18 degrees, 17 in Strawn, King Island at 16, Lowhead, St Helens, Friendly Beaches all 14, and 6 in Laiowini. Low cloud can be seen undercutting a high-level cloud streaming in from the west of the state today. And further out, convective cloud with thunderstorms remain over central and eastern Australia, with middle-level cloud extending over northwestern Tasmania. Tomorrow, the strong high will move to the southeast of Tasmania as an area of low pressure deepens over the southeast of the mainland. Southeast to easterly winds tomorrow 20 to 30 knots, reaching up to 35 knots about the north. And there is a gale warning current for the far northwest and central north coasts, including Banks Strait and Franklin Sound, and a strong wind warning from the east of Flinders Island to Sandy Cape. Moderate flood warnings are in place for the Macquarie and South Esk rivers, minor flood warnings for the Meander and North Esk, and a flood watch for the north, northeast, southeast and Derwent catchments. Developing showers and 14 in Hobart and Dover tomorrow, ooze 15. Launceston and Devonport showers and 17, 15 in Scottsdale. 16 degrees in Burnie tomorrow, possible showers and 21 in Strawn, Stanley 17. And increasing showers in the east with St Helens reaching 16, 15 in Swansea and Ross 13. And the UV tomorrow is high 7s across the state with sunset expected at 7:43 p.m. On Tuesday, showers increasing about the north and east. Showers continuing on Wednesday, increasing about the east and southeast. And on Thursday, showers statewide with westerly winds. 22 in Perth and Melbourne tomorrow, rain in Canberra and Sydney, storms and 31 in Brisbane and 32 degrees in Cairns and Broome. And currently Hobart 11 degrees and cloudy and 12 in Launceston and breezy in Devonport and 12 degrees there. And that's all in Sunday night's weather, Louise.
All right, thanks for that, Chelsea. And before we leave you tonight, Tasmania Police have taken a second man into custody in relation to the death of a man in Georgetown overnight. 2 men are now in custody, assisting police with their inquiries. At this stage, no charges have been laid. And that's all your news for this Sunday. Thank you for joining us this evening. Kim and the team will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Good night.